Hey guys, I'm Darrian and Mack, the channel manager for the Leaderboard.
And I'm Nicky, the lead editor.
So recently, not recently, but there's a bit of things happening in the gaming community. PewDiePie recently put up a video, a response video to something he had said during a live stream where he basically used the N-word.
Yeah.
And he put up a response video kind of explaining how he was very sorry about it, and that he's trying to learn and grow and all these things. I guess it's a commendable effort. Mm-hmm. And we just thought that this was a good moment for us to more talk about, not specifically to kind of pick apart PewDiePie's response, but to talk about what we believe here at the Leaderboard and why these sorts of conversations are important and why they matter.
So going to one of our mottos here at the Leaderboard, it's actually talking just about gaming community and where it can be, what kind of a place it could be, and inspire certain kinds of people. And someone like PewDiePie, and when we were talking about it earlier, I just kept describing him as someone that's very powerful. He has the most subscribers here on YouTube.
57 million subscribers.
57 million. Like you said, it was a very commendable effort, but we talked earlier, and his response is very, apologetic. And, all good things, it was very short, to the point. But you can't help but think that in the comments section, without scrolling that far down, there's so many uses of the N-word. Yeah. And not that like, he's allowing this to happen, or like he's pushing for these kind of people to watch his videos or anything like that. And again, his response video was commendable effort, but here at the Leaderboard, we filter all kinds of words so they don't show up in comment, or they are held for review if they're, and people still, the comments that we review they still find different ways to spell the N-word, or any racial slur.
It quite a bit actually. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, when we're thinking about kind of these conversations, right? Yeah. Like, gaming is for the most part, 70% of households in the country play games. Like, video games are these very, very powerful tools to not only escape reality, but to build like community, right? Like they are social. They're social tools. Like, that's why online games are so popular, and multiplayer games are so popular, and this is a moment where to talk about and to really think about the words that we use on a regular basis. Like Nicky was saying, at the Leaderboard, it's important for us to make sure that our comment section is as free and welcoming as possible and inclusive as possible.
Yep.
Because when you have moments like this, it kind of reminds you of, it makes you feel like you don't fit in.
Yeah.
When people use words or racial slurs or are insensitive, it's just kind of, it reminds other people within gaming that they don't belong, or there's not a place for them, because for so long that has really been the case, whether it's the characters that you play or the people that you see covering games, or the folks who talk about games on YouTube. Like, here we are very intentional with showing everybody that plays games, and all orientations, and all nationalities, and all ethnicities, not just the folks who are in front of the camera, but the people who are behind the camera, the writers, the researchers, and things of that nature. Like, those things are by design. It's not by accident, because we think we have a platform and a place to engage the wide spectrum of people who play. And Nicky, you had an interesting story with, did you want to share that on camera?
Sure. So I was going to say that, like, I understand why, people, use certain words, and as insensitive and intolerant as it might be. But someone like my wife, whether it's in a private setting or it's in a public setting, not to me, but friends or siblings that I'm with, it's just like, oh, don't use that word. Not necessarily that it's offensive to me, but it may be offensive to other people. But just having someone just to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't use that word, it is enough to implant, just awareness. So my brother, for example, he stopped using a bunch of words just because he's like, oh, because my wife has mentioned it so many times. Yeah. And I think about someone like PewDiePie, and he very much is an influencer, and that's something that Darrian and I were talking about. And he talks about in his response about being a role model and just being a better person, not just for him, but also the people that watch his videos. And you can't help but think, but it's like, you know, it would be so much more like at the end of the video, be like, and that's why I'm filtering comments from now on.
Right.
And, or that's why I will not tolerate, you know, the N-word. I will speak out against it. And, you know, he kind of said early on that he, whenever he heard it, like when he was playing online, that he would treat that as, you know, immature. But again, there's so much that he could be doing. And, you know, I, you know, see that he's asking for forgiveness. But I think for someone with 57 million subscribers and naturally just his channel becomes a place where these kind of people are attracted to his videos, a place where these kind of people can converse, you know, he's not necessarily addressing or doing anything about it, you know. And it's as simple as just filtering out some of those words.
And injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, right? Like Dr. Martin Luther King said that. And when we're silent in these moments and we're not speaking to the better angels of our nature, it's almost we give cover for people to be to offend. We give cover for people to not be careful and to not be critical, right? Like language matters. These words are important. They build, words can build societies, they can start wars. And so the language that we use is really important. And even when you were talking about like PewDiePie's like comment section, like that's a area that, you know, is not difficult to make changes to. It's not difficult to filter. And when you're not filtering those things, you are, again, giving cover for people to be less critical, to be less careful, to be less thoughtful. And so they just say anything that they want, and that's never good.
Yeah, I'm not saying PewDiePie is encouraging this kind of behavior, but he very much, in a way, is enabling it.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look at not just his comments on this video, but other PewDiePie experiences and experiments, it's like you have this reinforcement of less thoughtful behavior. And I at the end of the day believe that everybody deserves an umbrella of grace, right? Like we are human beings. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to say things that are wrong, that are inappropriate, that are beyond the pale, if you will. And so you have to extend grace to people in those moments. And I'm sure on some level, he's very apologetic for what utilizing these words means on his channel. But I just feel like the moment you step in front of a camera and you do this type of work, whether you have 200,000 subscribers or 50 or 5, you at that moment become an influencer. And at that moment, you automatically walk into you have a responsibility. And if this is not behavior that you want modeled, if this is not behavior you want to encourage on your platform, and people can encourage whatever they want on their particular platforms, on our platform, it's not okay. And so that's one of the reasons that we just thought this was a really important moment to talk about. And it's important to talk about this, right? Like it's important to have these conversations, and we're open. You know, we have a comment section. We have it there for a reason because we want to engage and we want to talk to you guys. We kind of really just came together to put this video up so that we could really start a dialogue, and hopefully there's some transformation that happens. And if not, you know, that's fine too. Like so you know, comment down below. Let us know what you think, and let us know if this is something that you want to hear more about. You know, these are conversations that we're having in the office all the time, and they're conversations that I think can move the gaming community forward.
You know, and it's important to have these conversations because here at the Leaderboard, you know, we want to build better and move forward with our gaming communities and make them more inclusive and not kind of outcast anybody, you know, and especially a place like free of hate. And one of our taglines here at the Leaderboard is actually, you believe in video games, and very much we believe in video games too.